Hi guys, Arthur here from Homeowner DIY. Guys, this is your quick tip of the week. So with my garden hose here, there is a split here, and then there is a split right here. One of these two is actually leaking, it's spewing out. This other one, whichever it is not going to be far behind it. So I just actually repaired this hose a couple weeks ago. Guys, I will link into the description that fix on the female end. But what I'm going to do here is I'm going to cut out the one section that's damaged, and then we're going to couple it back together. So these two breaks are within probably 6 inches of each other. So the plan is going to be, I'm going to cut it here, I'm going to cut it here, and then we're going to put a coupling with some gear clamps and then put it back together to salvage this hose as long as possible. Now this is a medium duty hose. Maybe the reason that this has happened is because the front hose bib for the house is a high pressure hose bib. It's at city pressure of 110 pounds, not domestic. Other than that, I mean, these things aren't exactly built all that great. But with that in mind, what we'll do now is material and tools. Alright, this is our material and tools list. So here I have a coupling, so this is a 5/8. So it's just 2 straight ends and then 2 gear clamps. I have a flathead screwdriver, and then I have an Olfa knife. This is a snap-off blade utility knife. Guys, this is all we need for material and tools for this repair, so let's get started. Alright, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to cut out our damaged section. So we have the one damage here, the other damage here. So I'm going to use a block so I don't damage my wonderful table here. And try to cut it square. So that's one end, and now the other end. And guys, once again, use a sharp knife, don't use a dull one. You're gonna get a rough cut, and that can also mangle up your repair. Alright guys, so the first thing is for these gear clamps. For plumbing, these would generally be 5/16. This is not 5/16. This is some other strange type of size. I would suggest use a ratchet and the proper size socket for this. But for DIY, what we're going to do is we're going to use a flathead in the middle here, in the middle slot. This is not the ideal way to do this, but if you don't have a socket set, this will be more user friendly than going out and get one. Alright, so we're going to grab our one end, we're going to slide the gear clamp over it. And now we're just going to slide this all the way in. Make sure that it goes all the way to the bottom. And now for the gear clamp, leave a little bit of a space. I would say maybe 1/4 of an inch. I don't think it matters all that much. And then tighten up the gear clamp. Now, as I said with the other video, there is a such thing as tightening up these gear clamps too much. If you tighten them too much, they're going to snap. You're going to hear a snapping sound. If you don't notice a snap, but the gear clamp keeps turning, then that means you have snapped the gear clamp. You cannot fix it. It needs to be replaced with another one. So I would suggest is just go a little bit more if you need to. So that side is tightened on. We'll grab our other side. We'll slide that on. We'll slide that all the way on. And guys, because aesthetics, they do matter, try to keep everything looking the same way. So for these gear clamps, I'd say tighten it until you feel some resistance. But this should now be a fixed hose. So what we're going to do is go and test it. And I turned this just so the line will line up, just to make it look nice and symmetrical. This is me just being finicky because I'm a construction guy. But guys, for the most part, that is it for this fix. It should work well enough because it's a higher pressure. It may be problematic in the future, but we'll go test this and see how it works. All right, so our coupling is there. We'll turn the water on. I don't hear any water flowing at the hose bib, so that means we're good to go. Guys, the coupling was $7, the hose is like $65, so it's well worth the time and 5-minute investment to fix it yourself. Guys, that is your quick tip of the week.